Is a very cold morning for me. I feel like I need my hobo gloves, the fingerless gloves, just to be able to function. Everything's really stiff and achy and cold. I just like to bundle up on the couch and just snooze the day away. But we're not gonna. Okay, let me put out my tweet. No, that is done. Alrighty. So, um, just a reminder for those that haven't been with us for the last few days, we do have a few events ongoing. Um, Actually, I think, what is today? I've lost track of my days. I think it's the 6th. Yes. Um, the Z Pre Invitational, the hoverboard racing event starts tomorrow, and I believe it runs till the 11th. And then we have the double XP event that's ongoing already. It started on the 4th, I think, and it's supposed to last until the 17th. So a couple events ongoing. While it's not directly housing related, they do have some housing elements. The Z Pre Invitational, as far as I'm aware, we'll still have the lightning bolt and the fire track available. This is especially great for those players that are just joining us and haven't taken part in the invitational event before. That'll certainly be something fun for them. Um, for those of us that's been around for a while, maybe we've collected enough of those particular things. There is the new hoverboard incentive to keep at it. As far as the double XP thing goes, that's beneficial to builders as far as when it comes to working with alts. For me, I tend to use the promissory notes that I collect off of my main. I just, whenever I want to unlock something from a specific reputation vendor on an alt, I just take the alt over to that vendor area and say I want to cash in some of these promissory notes, get their reputation up high enough to access the bit. But it's only workable really comfortably if you're just accessing like the lowest levels of the reputation. When it gets higher up, it gets a little bit more time consuming because well, I don't think I have like a whole ton of those things saved up, so I don't think I could do that for every alt. I just do it occasionally. So for those of you that have a lot of alts that you tend to build on and you're wanting access to certain decor that only unlocks at either certain levels or um, certain reputation bits, this is your opportunity to get those alts up. Um, Myself, I'm just too lazy about going and leveling, so I probably won't do that. As it is, most of my time is spent in housing, and I just, when I'm playing, I want to do that. I don't want to do more leveling. So I don't know. It's kind of a silly way of looking at it, but that's just me. But for the rest of you that really enjoy it and want to work on that, that's something a good opportunity to do it. Hey Bones, good morning. I was going to ask you, maybe you can help me out with you remember the rock entrance that you gave me the code for because I couldn't get it to work for myself? I'd like a version with the sandstone. I've got the gray one and I've kept the code and I use it in a couple other places. And it's been very helpful. But I can't get sandstone to work. I figured I could just change out the sandstone for the gray stone, but it won't let me. So I don't know what it is. I've tried everything I can think of. I've tried manipulating the rock onto that silly platform thing. I think that thing hates me. But if you would be so kind as to fix that fix that up for me, just same thing as the gray one that you uh, shared with me. Just switch it to the sandstone because I want that for the entrance here. I'm getting kind of sick of looking at it. What I'd like to do is uh, put a rock on it and then add a little uh, dock kind of thing because really it's supposed to be the little boat is supposedly going to travel to and fro. Of course, I've got it blocked off with this stone, but that was before I used the chalice for the water, so I'm going to have to open this back up eventually. But I cannot get that silly rock stuff to work for me on the teleport pad. I don't know why I have so much trouble with that. It's like our remote control. It's one of those that you like have to tweak the battery to get it to register. And my husband, he does it no problem. Me, I spend 15 minutes fiddling with the batteries trying to get the remote to work. I keep telling him we need to replace that silly thing, but he won't. Yeah, you would think it would. I don't know why it doesn't. It just gives me an error. I didn't even crash Katya's add-on when I was messing with it. It just totally borked it up, and I was afraid if I continue with it, I'm gonna just like ruin the game. So I appreciate it, Bones. I really do. Hey, Poi, good morning. I haven't had a look, by the way, at your troll. I meant to go by. I just got a mail from Bucky. Apparently, he's done monster number 3. Um, so I'm going to have to go and start, I guess, collecting some pictures because if we're going to have quite a few, I'm going to lose track of what's what and what's where and everything. But anyway, so today we are on Turnip's plot. This is the little house that we worked on last year with some of the fall and winter decorations, especially the uh, Winterfest ones. We had like garlands all along the sides here and played around with various different trees. We'll probably do that again this year. But last year we also did a little bit of some fall decorations, and you can see I've brought some of that back in. This is the wreath. It started out on the porch out here. I think we had it here last year. I went ahead and hung it up in the kitchen. And then we've got the garland. This is one I did on a different plot when we were playing around with different food ideas for the Thanksgiving holiday, I think it was. Um, and I've just set it down on top of the trunk here. I just wanted to put these out so that it will kind of get us in the mindset of some fall decorations. Um, Yeah, I think he actually, I don't want to spoil what he made yet, though I think the plot is public, so you probably go have a look. But he added some extra goodies with it, so he's been busy, and I imagine with the wheels turning, he'll probably come up with a few more at least. But yeah, uh, I thought it looked cool though from the screenshots that you posted. So I'm looking forward to seeing. Are you just like building the plot around him, or is it just he happens to be on the plot? That's what I was wondering. Anyway, what we're going to do is, I don't know why that carrot's there. Um, we're going to talk about some of the decor that I automatically think of when I'm thinking of fall decorations. Others may have some suggestions of things that might work because, again, we've had a lot of new decor added since we played around with these ideas last year. So there may be some things that just don't pop into my head that probably could work. One thing that was important about this house is since it's custom, we're dealing with a lot of thin walls and such, and that kind of limited us as far as what pieces we could use. Now, if you're using these things on like a prefab home wall where it doesn't matter what's sticking out the back, then you have a great deal more flexibility, kind of like this. If you're going to have it, this isn't the kind of garland that I could hang on the balcony out here per se, because some of the pieces actually extend pretty far out. You can see here, it's all parts of the um, the crazy trellis bit. There's two of them there, and the bottoms of them are hanging out. And of course, you've got the habanero blooms. The roots of those are showing. So it's kind of particular where you can place that. It has to be something pretty solid. In fact, I haven't even checked. This actually might be sticking through the bottom of the house itself. Now, one of the things when I did when I built this, I specifically kind of thickened up, but yeah, you can see it's actually sticking out here. But hopefully no one will really be too upset about that, just for the holidays. But it was originally meant for like the mantle on a fireplace. That's where we put it before. Oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad he has a permanent home then. I didn't realize it was uh, a themed pot that actually suited him being in there. See, now if I actually went ahead and did a Shades Eve plot and made it like a permanent spot instead of doing these little pieces things, I could probably put Frankie and his bride and all these other things that we're thinking of there, but I just don't know if I feel like doing that. And it seems a little late to kind of get started in it. Maybe next year. It's just like I've been debating on whether or not I even want to start a Winterfest one. I think I'm just going to stick with just the little projects. That's easier for me, especially for my time and everything lately. It's just the smaller projects are easier. Okay, so when you think of fall, I think the first thing that pops into most people's heads is pumpkins, leaves. I'm not talking shades even stuff. I'm just talking strictly fall. You're thinking about your yellows, your browns, oranges, a little bit of red, that kind of stuff. Those harvest colors kind of thing. Uberwald. Well, see, that's again, I'm not very familiar. My husband probably knows. I'm going to ask him about that because I know he's read Terry Pratchett, but it's been a while, so I don't know if he really is too familiar with it. Okay, so once you get like the colors in mind, then it's easier to go through either just automatically think of things that you've used in the past that would work, um, or as I often do, I just run through the shopper looking at certain things. So, like, I always change this to 25. Because for whatever reason, if I leave it at 50, eventually the thing crashes on me. So, like, for instance, I can pretty much tell you that there's a lot of grasses that would probably work. Because ours tend to be more yellows and browns. There are some greens, obviously, but like this would be a good one, the bloodfire sawgrass. Um, the tufts are especially fun. The wheatgrass, golden wheatgrass is really good. There's the dry grass patches. Now, the flat little grass patches like these, I'm not really thinking about those. I'm thinking more compact and uh, for like flower arrangements, like for centerpieces on your tables or across your mantle, for wreaths, garlands, things like that. Things that are compact, the right color, and works easily at a small size. A lot of these will do well. That just sounds really weird. What's an Igor? Is that just a humpback thing? Yeah, that is pretty funny. It sounds like something Grandpa Simpson would say. My husband, his favorite one is where they talk about, um, what was it? Where they stole a number or something and they had to say dickety six or something. Talking about, I don't know, an onion on his belt. He just goes off. It just sounds so weird. Anyway, so grasses are good. We have a lot of like, um, most of our building blocks probably don't really have the right colors. About the closest one I could think of was like the mottled look of the Draken floor, not the Draken floor, the Draken wall. It's got a nice mottled look. That might work for a nice fall pathway because just because of the mottled look of it. That's what I thought, boy, the little humpback pop-eyed looking thing. Okay, well, there you go. Um, so like basically I would go through all of them, all of the groups. So the orange window might be able to use it pretty nicely. Um, Depending on what you're doing, if you're doing like a little town, these nice illuminated windows would probably work well. Da, 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 da. Now, if you don't have a lot of orange, if we can't find a lot of orange stuff, I would say try coppery things. That's kind of an orange look. It's more, yeah, it's metallic, but it's probably as close as we get. This is a little on the brown side, but this is a little more, bit more orangey. I use that a lot for when I'm aiming for orange. Now, the only problem is it looks orangey kind of on the sides, but if you turn it upside down where it's flat, it's a dark, dark brown, so that doesn't work really well in certain instances. Let's see, I guess I need to check the other ones. Now, of course, some of these pieces, I've like never seen this in game. I don't even know if that's actually live. So if you're using the Katya's add-on and you're browsing the shopper, do keep in mind that not everything you see in here is actually literally available. Her add-on basically just grabs all the game files, whether they're active or not. And sometimes you'll see that there's duplicates of some things with, it'll be the same object but different names. It's just a little, because it's things that the coding wasn't cleaned up or whatever, and that's why you see that. Fifth elephant. Uh, uh, I don't. I think most of that humor would probably go over my head. I'm not good at making those connections there. Whoops, got a wall decor. Um, Again, if you're looking for golden things, some of the portraits will work depending on what you're trying to build. But again, I strive to go for cheaper stuff, easier stuff to get a hold of. So all of these with the golden frames, they're pretty not so easy to come by. I would stick with the Hugel portrait. That's probably your easiest, accessible, cheapest um, gold kind of like if you're looking for like a platter or something for one of your dishes, that kind of thing. Hey Link, glad you could join us. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anything. Trees, at the moment, we don't have too many fall type of trees. Now, I'm hoping that will change. Um, like with the topiaries that they've been showing, having them with the brown leaves and stuff. I'm hoping that uh, they will add some additional bits that are more common than getting them just through the cash shop. I'd like them to add some nice variations of maybe trees with, all golden leaves, like brown and oranges and things, and then some with like bits missing, and like give us some piles of leaves like they do with the hay. That would be nice, I think. A fun addition. Um, there's one, trying to think what it was. Maybe a bush I'm thinking of. Keep going. Now I skipped the toys because most of those are plushies, and most of the plushies are pretty particular about where they come from. I don't mess with those too much. If you're thinking about doing a fireplace, the bricks, don't forget we do have bricks. It's a little clunky to work with, but we've seen a few people pull it off pretty nicely. Um, I know there's a lot of yellows and browns and things that are popping up, but most of them are like attached to stuff that, like this has got yellow on it, but it's not like it's a very easy item to blend into a pile of other things. Um, really wish they'd release this one. I like this wood part here. I think that's my favorite part of this thing. I don't know why, but I'd like it. See, like there's the golden bunnies and stuff, but the lops, but just don't. I don't even know where they drop. I think it's just the world drop, so it makes it not very fun to use. These bones and stuff, those drop like candy. They're just all over the place. They're so cheap and plentiful. But some of this other stuff that really would be great building blocks, they're not easy to come by, which is unfortunate, but that's just the name of the game. Uh, I don't like using seeding for cobbled stuff because it lights up green and everything. Let's look in plants. Yeah, if you're looking for some yellows and you're wanting like something that looks like maybe like your representation of gorge or something, some of the cactuses might work. I think I used the melons that were on the trellises, but you can see how awkward the trellises are to use. Um, the yellow flowers, standalone ones, those make good sunflowers if you size them up pretty good. Uh, make a sunflower pattern on maybe have one just showing in a little painting and then add this long stalk or something. That would work really good. If you're looking for a little touch of red, the habanero ones that appear in that vase, some nice touches of red. It's also good for Winterfest. These are a little bit glowy, but they still work nicely. Um, haven't seen this one yet. That'd be great for fall though. There is the tall bloom, but I want to say that one comes from a rep vendor, fairly high. Haven't seen this one released yet, which that has some really nice fall coloring to it. Uh, I'm looking for what's the one with maybe it's the bushes. Yeah, see, here's another, the small one. I know it's a cactus, but you could maybe pretend that it's some kind of a different kind of a fruit, some kind of a melon. um, yeah, see, there's some needle bushes and the brown shrubs, but as far as I know, they're still not in game yet. So they're there, it's just they haven't given them. But if you're looking for some orange flowers, you could try farming up the crimson bone blooms. I think they come from the rares in like Mulgrave and stuff. Uh, Obviously, you wouldn't want to use the bones and stuff. At least I wouldn't. I just want the flowers, but you can see you'd have to deal with hiding the rest of it. It's doable, but it'll only work in certain situations. See, just like the terminite, that's a nice kind of a yellow orangey color, but again, you're kind of they're not in game yet as far as I know. Same way with these nice little daffodils. How pretty are those? But again, they aren't here yet. Like the terminite vines. I just spotted these yesterday. I was like, what? Pretty gross. It just looks like stringy blood stuff's really nasty. But it looks really pretty. A lot of these plants I've not seen yet. Those look like peacock feathers. So that's probably what I'll try and make if those ever come live. But like the hedges, these will be awesome for those putting their fall. It's just that they come from the cash shop, so you're going to be kind of limited on how plentiful they will be. For those that want to make hedge mazes, I feel sorry. You know, I have sympathy for you guys because that's a lot of building decor packs that you will need. Isn't that what you wanted to do with the green hedges? Is to make a hedge maze? Anyway, so what we're going to try and do is I want to do another wreath, but I wanted to put the old one up so that we could see what we made last year, and we're going to try and make a different one. This one was using, I specifically picked on the orange fence posts because they have those acorns on the end, and I wanted some acorn decorations in here. Of course, by the time I was done, you can't really see them. They're all spotted throughout, but you just don't notice them because it's so hidden with the colors and everything. But I did use lots of the wheatgrass, cheese for the bow, and of course I threw in some pumpkins on the bottom. It's just a very basic wreath kind of style. But we're going to try and make a new one for the front here. And what I did last year was we used a dome for the guide. It's just, I'm going to be eyeballing it, but I still need some kind of a way to keep myself from getting to, otherwise I'm going to end up with like an egg-shaped wreath. Yeah, that's unfortunate, Bones, because I know a lot of people would have loved to have indulged in just stocking up on those and making all sorts of hedge mazes and stuff. But, you know, while I appreciate that, you know, they've got to make money and everything, it's just unfortunate that a lot of these basic building blocks are ending up on the shop. You know, if they had wanted to keep the topiary ones, the ones shaped like the WildStar and all that on the shop, and then give us the hedges, just the plain old hedges on the housing vendor, that would have been perfect. I think would have been just, I would have been just so thrilled on that. But you know, Not up to us, I guess. Okay, so when you're going to set it up like this, I'm just going to make it a size that I think will work. And that's my little ring. You know, you start out when you're crafting one from scratch at home in real life, you have a little ring that you use to either wrap your ribbon around or whatever. So, what to use for the base of it? Again, the wheatgrass is uh, really handy, like a clump, so it works well. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, they're gonna want to put as much as they can on the shop. Uh, I think the only way that they would maybe change their mind is if people stop buying from it, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I don't know how I want to approach this. I don't know if I want to do yellow. If I'll go with yellow, bananas would probably be the best because it's already kind of curved. It's just the stem of the banana you'd have to deal with. I have quite a few pumpkins stocked up. For whatever reason, I have no idea. The only thing about it is the stems on it. Again, it's just kind of an awkward thing to work with sometimes. Um, Trying to figure out. I don't. I don't think 18 is going to be enough to go around if I make it too small. That's one thing. But you might could get away with doing a pumpkin ring. Oh, my nose is itching. I guess we're going to have some company today. Again, see how the root of it is sticking out the back. You'll have to keep that in mind when you're building the stuffs. Maybe if I do it like this. And have the vine follow the edging here. Now, do I keep it compact and make it go around that way, or do I just kind of spot it around? I don't know if this is going to look very good. Now, I could, I think, try and use the difference thing on Katya's add-on to get it to rotate and space it, but also you could probably just use like the dome itself, like do it like this to see. I don't know if I can show it because I'm not really good at this kind of thingy, but I will try it. There's probably an easier way, but this is probably how I would do it. See, where are we? Oh yeah, I made a new directory here, so let's just clear this and we'll rename it to wreath. And then I'm going to link this little pumpkin here up to my dome. And then I'm going to copy the pumpkin. Then I'm going to rotate the, what do you call it, the thingy, the dome. I think you can actually get it to step it each way by saving where you put the dome, but I forget how to do it, so I'm just going to do it this way. So I would probably just say clone and place, and then link this one. Again, you can have this auto link um, uh, to it by setting up the auto link and setting up your target. You could probably put the dome as the target, but I get leery of doing that myself because I tend to start adding things I don't mean to, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna get rid of this again. I'm gonna see what angle I'm actually setting this at. We'll do it at 15. Okay, so we're going to clone it, place, then we're going to link it, and then another 15, clone, and I'll link it. I'm just turning it at 15 degrees every time, and it's just going to fill it up to this nice little orange pumpkin wreath thing. Again, I don't think I'm going to have enough pumpkins to go all the way around, but we'll try and get most of it. Again, I could probably get it to auto link. If you want to play around with that, go right ahead. If you want to probably see a demo of how that actually works, I would say check out Noriak's CATIA Builder Toolkit tutorial video series. I'm sure he goes over it nicely. What's another 15 from that? What is that? I guess I'm gonna have to get my calculator out because I can't think that well in the morning. I lost my maths like a long time ago. I used to be really good at math, but not anymore. It's just, I tell my husband, it's like as new information comes in, like double the amount goes out. I don't retain anything at all anymore. Shameful, but that's just the way it's happened. And you just keep doing this all the way around. You know, obviously you want to get that pumpkin the first time exactly like you want it. If you start seeing that it's not really coming out as nicely as you hoped, you may have to make some adjustments and do it all over again. But again, if you get the hang of using CATIAs for the linking and the rotating, it's just a matter of a couple of buttons. I've done it a few times in the past, but I don't do it enough to keep in with the practice, so I quickly forget. It's like my dad when he sends pictures through email or something. He has to remember how to take it off the camera and put it on the computer and then put it in the email. And he's written it down I don't know how many times and he never remembers. So every time it's like he's learning anew. Oops. That didn't work at all, did it? Oh, it went back the other way. See how weird that is? Now it's going down. Got 10 more. Not going to get all the way around, unfortunately. I'll have to stock up on some more pumpkins. These you get from the renowned vendor at the front entrance of your house, right there. I think they're 150 rep per, I believe. What is it, 60? This is so slow because of the way I'm doing it. I know there's a much faster, easier way, but like me eyeballing most of the stuff, I tend to do it the hard way. And, oops. You see what I did? I hit the wrong button. Let me do that again. Found place, not difference. There we go. Did about halfway, I think. We got how many more to go? 6. Almost all the way around. It's gonna be close, I guess. Katya watches these. She's probably going, "Oh my gosh, why are you doing it that way?" Like, sorry, I'm so sorry. So now we're in the negative. Ah, I hit the difference button again. Why do I do that? What about you guys? Do you use the all of the buttons here? Are you very comfortable with it? I kind of wish Katya had actually followed through on setting up a workshop over here on this side, like she did for Entity. It's just, I guess there wasn't enough interest the last time she asked about it, but I think it would have been uh, very helpful to get more comfortable with using the tool. Of course, she constantly adds stuff, so it's always changing. I mean, we just had the set manager completely reworked, and it's much better now. Now that I've gotten kind of comfortable with it, I'm glad it was changed to what it is, but it was kind of like a shell shock. The first time you open it up, it's like, what the, what do I do now? Because it has no like instruction booklet or anything, and I think the instruction booklet would be like, a novel, uh, if she was to actually write one. So yeah, yeah, that's me. Basic buttons. I know there's like so much other like utility that it has, but I don't know. I just get nervous about it. Okay, how many more? I still have 2 to go. It was so close. I should have gotten a few more, I guess. I didn't know if I was going to be using pumpkins today, so I really didn't think about stocking up. Ah, shoot. So bad with the math. My husband watched this. He would be cracking up right now because he usually jokes because I used to tutor a few classmates in high school with math, and he goes, "Yeah, sure you did," because I like too well to add 2 plus 2. It's like, that's what now? Using my fingers, and he's like, "That's just so bad." And it's like, well, uh, Yeah, he teases me a lot. So this would be just right up his alley because I'm having to use my calculator to help me with the positioning here. Whoops, I want to touch that. That's not good. Okay, so that was the last pumpkin that we have on hand. I will, unless we come up with something else, I will have to grab probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 or 6 more to get it to go all the way around. So, I'm going to make a note that where that position is, and I'm going to put it back at, so that this is at the bottom. So what we might do is just change this up and have all the pumpkins and then make something at the bottom, or I could put it at the top and that'd be where the bow or something would go, and that might work as well. So it's either or. What do you think, top or bottom? I think we'll put it at the bottom. Again, I'm just kind of guessing about where it should be. See how nice, when you're using the add-on, it helps keep everything straight and even and equal. It almost looks like a pigtail from some girl with red hair, braided or whatever. But it's a nice color, nice fall colors. And again, while we used the wheatgrass, that was more yellow. And then I used the pumpkins as an orange accent to it. This way we can use the yellows as an accent to the orange. So what could we use for down here? Maybe the bow is down here, maybe it's up above. If we're going to do the bow, last time I used the cheese wedges. I thought that was, a bow usually has like triangle shape, but you don't have to do it that way. You can come up with something else if you want. You could use the bananas probably to make a nice long ribbon bow. Let me see. I'm going to pull up a new window here. And whoops, it's not what you want to say on your stream. Whoops. Pull up some examples of some fall wreaths just to kind of give me some ideas here. Let's see. Looking for one that's using the orange coloring as like the base rather than the accent. Wow, there's like a huge variety of wreaths. Put a pumpkin in the phrase. Maybe that'll help narrow it down. Yeah, some of them actually throw in some greens and white. So if you're wanting to make, like say if you want to like make a nice white bow, you might get away with some of the, what are they called? The ice rock blocks. I don't know if the arch would work better or the cornerstone. Thinking. Maybe a combination of the two. For me, I don't think the white's really going to work. I think I prefer to use yellow, but I'm going to see anyway, at least about how you would put together a bow for this thing. I feel like my throat's starting to dry up. Like, I know you could probably put 2 or 3 of these together to make the little, like, these don't work like the hover part pieces where if you just rotate it, it stays connected. No, 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 no. These have something totally different. You have to position them in yourself. So like, you'd have that real, goofy looking bow. You could probably do the whole donut, but like maybe you want to crunch it up a little bit so it's not exactly perfect. Something like that. And then have another one of these. Looking a little odd. And then extending it. I don't know if you can make sense of that. And then again, make another little loopy-doop bow thingy on this side. Of course, you'd probably just copy this set rather than hand placing it like I'm doing here, but actually, let's just do it this way. And you'd have to rotate it because you need the opening on this side. Wait, did I link it to the one or the other? Goodness. Let's try that again. I think, there we go. And probably just flip it. So this might actually come in better handy with like the Winterfest stuff. And again, maybe actually move this. See what I'm getting at? Something like that. Not the best, but it's a kind of a bow. You could probably give it more curlicues or whatever. You could reduce the size of these to kind of make it taper off into a smaller bit. That kind of thing. I don't know, something like that. But I think I would really prefer to use the bananas. Excuse me. So you want it like a bow tie kind of thing. Let me see. Do I have any bananas? No. Yes, I do. 25 of those suckers. That should be more than enough to experiment with a bow. So I'm going to probably go with the triangle shape again, kind of like we did with the cheese. What I'm talking about is how it looks like a bow tie shape at the top, and then you just add some streamers for the bottom bit. That's what I'm going to try with the bananas rather than using the cheese. The cheese is workable, and I probably have no problem repeating that. But again, when we do this kind of brainstorming bits, I strive to use different materials as often as possible rather than just repeating what I've already used, because the whole idea is to kind of give you options. Um, Maybe the cheese is easier because you only have to use one piece each for that triangle, but maybe it's you just want to use the bananas. I don't know. Or you're not really pinched about decor count, so it doesn't really matter if the bananas are a few extra pieces, that kind of thing. So mostly I'm looking about where the, uh, the stem of the banana is going to be showing, and hoping that I can keep it hidden. I'm also looking about where this part is, trying to keep it more into the center. Then I'll repeat that way. Turn the nanner a little bit. Thankfully, the bananas the stem of it kind of blends in with the pumpkin stem, so you don't notice it too much. Okay, and then to get the bow tie look, you just rotate it up and then rotate it down. The same way here. You may have to make some adjustments again because of the stem sticking out there. If that's the case, try that again. I have to just leave. And then you need a couple of them coming down. If you want it wider, it's okay. Just add a few more bananas. That's no biggie. And I have to leave that stem showing. And see how it just kind of naturally curves, so you don't have to work for that shape too much. There's you a bit of a bow ribbon kind of thing. I want it a little wider. Thanks, boy. You're so helpful. I do appreciate all that you do. Of just a lot of tweaking and twisting and resizing and just experimentation on what works, what doesn't work. You know, maybe uh, it doesn't quite look like a ribbon to you, or it does. Um, I may end up just sticking with the cheese because it seems to look the best, in my opinion, but I'm going to keep at this with the bananas. Because again, I'm aiming to try and give you options. You know, maybe you have a ton of bananas on hand and it saves you a little bit of money rather than buying some extra bits of cheese. There's a yellow ribbon kind of thingy. What can we put on the bottom? Obviously can't use pumpkins because we're completely out of those, and it doesn't really make sense to use the pumpkins on top of pumpkins unless we have different colored pumpkins, which would be great. Let me get rid of the silly bow here. I was looking for like a white chocolate pretzel, that would work well. It's just these don't really show up at all when you shrink them down to like food plate size. Which is a shame. I know a lot of people have been trying to use them for like sugar cubes and marshmallows in their coffee or tea or whatever, and you just have to zoom in really close to see it. Okay, so could use flowers. I would say maybe those nice, pretty yellow flowers. There we go. The only problem with these is you got the stems to deal with, for one. It might be better as an accent along the pumpkins themselves. Like little sunflowers or something. Again, depending on how you position them, you might only see one or two of them. And just playing around with positions, sizes, arrangements. It's what I do with a lot of this. I just kind of mush stuff together, and if it doesn't work quite like I want it, then I just scrap it. Again, it's part of the luxury of having been in the game for a while. I've accumulated a lot of junk. I've accumulated a lot of spare change that I don't feel too pressured about. I have to use it if I put it together because you know, I've spent the money on it or whatever. Wonder. Put a bunch of these together, if that would be enough. I have to fill it up pretty heavily just to get it to kind of look full there, and because eventually we're going to remove that dome, so we won't have that to really hold it. We're gonna need a lot of these. This feels weird. I'm probably gonna have to get the rest of those pumpkins. I think it'll look better with just the spotted bits of yellow and then all the pumpkin around here. That would work better. Excuse me. Other stuff we could use if, see, just remove these. So just pretend there's pumpkins there. We'll have like a fifth clump of flowers here. Interesting. Is there any other colors you might want to add? Like I said, a lot of the colors, browns, a little bit of red. I don't think I have any habaneros for the red. Could, if you're looking for some extra yellow, these are really nice for like some kind of a little melon thing. I use that on the garland, the straight garland. Um, but again, you're going to have to deal with that root bit down here hanging out where you don't want it, I'm sure. And hanging fruit would probably be good for some brown. It almost looks like dingy oranges to me. You could toss that in. Maybe you want to just make a nice little arrangement, kind of like I did with the pumpkins for the other one. I had just those kind of sitting at the bottom. You do that with the fruit. Like size here. The main thing you'll have to worry about is the little hanger bit. Thankfully, this particular one, the rope is pretty short. If you're going for more like a cornucopia, where you have like other colored fruits, like the marauder berries, that one has a really long piece of rope and a little doohickey on the end. That one might be a little bit more complicated to use, but it's still a fun piece of decor. Or grapes. I've seen people use it as like little grape things. See, it's probably going to be sticking out, and you'll see it, but you know. So like, maybe I can hide them sort of by just kind of sneaking it in there a little bit. And if you don't like the two bit, like it's too mirrored, just add another one and bring it up a little bit, and that'll kind of break it up a little bit so it's not too same. It's an actual term, same. I don't know why I say stuff like that. It's kind of me. Knock that down a bit. A little too bottom heavy, I think. There we go. And again, browns, reds, yellows, oranges. Still not happy with the bow. I keep looking at it. It looks almost like wings of something, and these look like horns. Not very bowish. Something's not quite right about it. I don't know what's bugging me about it, but it's gonna bug me for a while. So I either just completely get rid of it or something. I don't know. If you don't want the flowers there, maybe bottom at the bottom here. A little bit of color. Yeah, I just keep changing it. I just figure out something that works for you. That's let's see. I'm trying to think of other, I know we have like the gourds. If you were here for last year's Shades Eve, we did have opportunity to get some of the gourds, but I only collected those on my main, so I can't really show those to you as far as actually using them. But like, this is something, and that reminds me, I think, Poi, you mentioned you weren't here last year for the Shades Eve. You're going to be in for a real treat for sure. Not just with the decor that you'll be grabbing up, but just the whole, how they decorate the cities and the activities that you get to do, like the trick-or-treating at the houses and stuff. Um, and the instance that they have for it, it's really awesome, awesomely done. How do you spell gourd? What's that? Yeah, see, not all of them have the little candles and spooky faces on them. They're just simple gourds. These would be awesome accents for this kind of decoration, rather than using those like dried up oranges. You could use these nice pimply looking gourds that come in these nice shapes with the little curly bits of their roots and stuff, or the stems. Awesome, awesome stuff. I can't remember if they came as a, I want to say it was a code that we were given, that they were giving away, that you could claim a set of these. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that stuff. I think Gary is one of those that likes passing out the codes, but I'm sure all the others will be doing it too. Kind of like when they did the whole, every time you turn around, everybody's getting fancy pants codes for the jackets and stuff. These are really great. It's one of the few foods that they've actually added since the launch of the game. So, it's really, you miss not being able to just pull that up on the housing vendor. Wish we could. I wish the things like they did like with the daily login rewards. It would be awesome if we could unlock those particular decors, like with the fireworks. That was brilliant, brilliant. That you worked to do the event, you got the achievement, and you unlocked it permanently. I would love more of that kind of a system where you can unlock holiday decor sets straight on the vendor. They did more like that rather than always putting it on the housing vendor. I would be so totally into that. Yeah, it was. I think the instance was, you had to get kind of used to it at first, but uh, there was one particular part that I always hated. I always got lost. That was the problem. I ended up, thankfully the instance has a little bit of a, well, if you got lost too long, I'll come and help you kind of system. And it always had to help me along because I never could get through very fast because I'd get turned around and confused about where I was at. I'm that way in real life and I'm that way in game. Okay, so I'm going to note down that I want to get some more of those pumpkins for sure. I think I would much prefer just a full pumpkin ring. And I will probably change the bow. I just don't like the way the bananas have turned out. They don't look good to me. I prefer the teas. It's not just because it's simpler, it's just the shape is better. This looks more like almost, you could turn this into like a phoenix, I think. A bird. Looks like wings of a bird and the tail of the bird. But yeah, I don't like that at all. But I'm gonna leave it for now. Can't think of anything better, and I don't want to use the cheese again. But one thing we are going to be working on is I want to try my hand at some fall themed paintings for this particular area here. We started off with the night and day paintings. They were landscape scenes, and then we changed it to the two birds. Um, I'm going to take those down, and we're going to work up some holiday themed paintings. I might make it one is fall and the other one is winter, but I don't know if it's going to be landscape stuff or if I'm actually just going to pick something. Because like I said, there's not a whole lot of straight off the housing vendor fall type of trees and such that I might could use in a fall setting. And I don't really want to buy the hedge packs or anything like that. So, because again, I want to focus on items that the general public would be using and have access to without saying, well, the only way you can do this is if you spend money or spend your omnibits or whatever. So, especially for newer players that are just starting, they won't have saved up enough omnibits to, justify spending it on that straight away. I think a lot of people have different priorities, wanting to, spend it on like the core unlocks or the costume unlocks or the mounts or something like that. So it's important that I steer clear of that kind of stuff most of the time. Let's see. So yeah, that's going to be one or two projects, depending on if I split it up between the seasons, the holidays. Do a fall version and then a winter thing, something. Or maybe I specifically make it for a Shades Eve type of painting and a Winterfest one. Maybe I'll do it that way. It'll be something along those lines. As soon as I got it focused as to what my subject's going to be, then we'll get started on those. But that's something I do want to do for part of this month at least. I will go ahead and purchase the rest of the pumpkins so we can finish up the wreath, and I'll probably end up using the cheese, even though I keep saying I don't want to, unless I can come up with something else. Maybe the Hugel portraits would work better. In fact, let me just do that real quick and see. These bananas are bugging me. Probably why they're still in the crate, because I can't find a good use for them other than bananas. Pumpkin shopping spree, yeah. Need to get probably, what did I say, about 6? I'll probably just get another 10 just to be safe, so I have a few extras. But Hugel portraits, let's see. Got one on hand. So what I would do is see which end looks more bowy. I don't know how else to say it. Probably size it down just a bit. And then flip it. A little smaller. My stomach's growling because I'm hungry. And make these even smaller. I kind of did this with a curtain I think I made on one of my plots. I'm hoping the bow will be as successful. Although I don't think the curtain was a big hit with everybody else, but I kind of liked it. It looked like an old granny's frilly kind of bit. That looks a little better to me, I think. Let me just link all these up. I think it needs to go up a little bit. Oops. Uh, Weird. Something along that line. It's a little better. I like it more than the bananas for sure. Uh, Maybe I'll get a pumpkin to kind of poke through to make it look like the hole is there or something. I think that's the only thing that's bugging me about this part here. Anyway, we'll work on finishing up the wreath probably tomorrow, and I'll see about coming up with another decoration that someone might use for their front yard, for the porch, for right around the teleporter. I know a lot of people, when the holidays come around, especially when it's like the trick-or-treat time and the caroling time for Winterfest, a lot of people like to focus a little scene right up at the front, so that the person that comes to visit doesn't have to go run over the whole place just to find the trick-or-treat bowls or the caroling microphone. So I'm going to try and come up with at least one or two more things that we can build, um, besides garlands and stuff that might be fitting for the fall season. Um, And of course, I will put some more effort into coming up with a plan for the paintings. I'll probably do that this weekend, and we may start that on Monday. In the meantime, I think we're going to go ahead and call it for today. And again, remember, we do have the events going on. The uh, Z-Pre Invitational starts tomorrow, I believe. And we have the double XP event going on right now. So take advantage of those. You know, if you've kind of slacked off and playing for a little bit, now's the time to kind of get back into it. You know, take advantage of the extra XP gains for your alts, and grab that limited time decor that's available through the hoverboard event. I'm looking forward to possibly some announcements soon about the upcoming Shades Eve holiday as well. I think that's supposed to start on the 19th from what I read. I don't really remember what time it started last year, but I am assuming soon. I think it was like a couple of weeks long, so it's not going to be too much further. And of course, once that is done, then we've got, you know, maybe a little bit of a breather before Winterfest kicks in. So again, reminder, we do have, as Poi has just posted, that we have the CBDC ongoing. Again, we've already seen some sneak peeks at some of the goodies coming our way for that showcase on the 31st. But yeah, yeah, you could, Bones. See, it's a perfect opportunity if you're wanting some special decor on Ludwig for that nice plot for your troll there. But if you want to participate, it's open to anybody. It doesn't matter faction or region. I have access to all of it. So if you want to share your work, feel free to contact me either in-game, via Twitter, via Twitch, via the forums. Lots of ways to get a hold of me. Just let me know the character name, the region, the faction, and what it is that you're wanting to showcase. Because especially if you're doing a made-up monster, something that's original to you. Some of us are going for more recognizable type of creatures, but it's not limited to that. If you want to come up with some kind of part owl, part snake, part wolf creature and mush it all together, as long as you tell me what it is, then I'll be able to share that with my viewers as we tour and showcase it. But yeah, that's something I hope a lot of people get into. We've already had, like I said, a few showing off their stuff. Of course, we may build another creature of some sort as well. don't want to. There's some builders that prefer to do something that's original, meaning that it's not that they come up with the idea necessarily on themselves, but they don't want to, like if they already see someone's done a troll, for example, then somebody else don't want to do another troll. But really, you can. It's not likely that you'll be using the same pieces, arranging them the same way, posing it just exactly the same. So it'll be fun, even if we have 5 people do 5 Draculas. I'm sure we'll have 5 different amazing looking ones, even still. And it'd be fun, just, I don't know, it'd be kind of fun to compare. Maybe one day I'll do a CBDC where everybody has to do the same thing, the same concept, and very narrow, and then just see how everybody's looks, either how close they are or how different, even though it's, the same kind of thing they're supposed to be building. I think that would be kind of interesting to look at, like the toilet. My favorite discussion topic, the toilet. Everybody usually adds some kind of a toilet into their house, especially as custom builders. And I don't think there's ever been a single pair that have looked identical piece to piece. There's been similarities, but nothing identical, which is amazing because we've seen so many varieties. But yeah, I think I might do something like that, just for the fun, to see what people come up with, and how close everybody gets to their stuff. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. I hope you had fun. I know we didn't really build a whole lot, but I think it was mostly me just gabbing away. But still, I hope you come away with some ideas of some things that you might want to try if you're planning to decorate your home for the holidays. Um, Again, I usually try to keep it just a few pieces here and there. I kind of do that way in my real life. I don't like just go all out and it looks like, the decorations box threw up in my house. Um, but I like doing the little pieces because it's easier to remove when the season is past and easier to change out with new things. So like you have a fall wreath and then a few months later you have a Winterfest wreath, and a few months later maybe you do a Valentine's wreath with lots of red and roses and a little heart kind of thing, that kind of stuff. So um, yeah, I hope it gives you some ideas, at least, if nothing else. In the meantime, good luck with your projects. If I don't see you tomorrow, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.